Yeah, hello guys. In this video we are going to discuss about three things. First of all, what is a unit testing, and next we are going to discuss about what is n unit, and after that we are going to discuss about mock framework. So first of all, let us discuss about what is a testing. Do we need awareness about testing being a developer or not? So normally for doing testing there will be a separate team will be there. The people will learn how to do testing and what are the different methodologies and all those they are going to discuss. But being a developer, where we need testing in the sense, so in a company when we have a project, so after developing, before handovering it to a particular testing team, so we have to run a dry run. So being in a developer, not in a developer point of view, as a user point of view, you are going to check whether our project and functionalities are reaching the requirement or not. So we are going to check whether whatever the code that we developed, that is matching with the client requirement or not. So for that we are going to perform a particular testing, that is what called unit testing. Unit testing will always can be developed or implemented or tested, anything you can call, so by developers itself. Okay, so whenever we are using Visual Studio, so Visual Studio will have by default some unit testing framework will be called, which is can be called MS Unit Test. So this comes by default whenever we are creating a particular unit testing project. So here you are not going to learn any new code, guys. Here very simple framework it is. Unit testing you can easily understand. So already some code will be developed. That's what our real-time implementation, right? So when there is an implemented project, you are going to create some test cases for checking whether that functionality is working as per the requirement or not. That is what called our unit testing in Visual Studio. So before going with n unit, first of all let me show you what is a unit testing and how to perform unit testing in Visual Studio. That is what our first step. So here I am going to create a new project, guys. So here if you search for unit, so system will list out the list of unit test projects whatever we have. The first one, and here you need to see the C# and it is for Windows application. This is a testing framework. So you can see a project that contains MS test. As I already mentioned, whenever you create unit test, so Microsoft has implemented some testing framework, that is what called MS test. So you can select this. So it is going to ask for the project name and all those. You can click on create. Okay, so this is our testing class. They had given a sample class how to create a unit test. So here if you see, there is nothing new here. It is a normal class, but only if you observe there are some annotations however we used in MVC. So here we are surrounding it by a particular annotation called test class, so that our Visual Studio, when we are building the project, that can recognize. So this is a class that contains list of test methods. So that is the reason we are going to mention an annotation called test class. So the functions whatever we implement, for that we are going to use this annotation called test method. So in our regular day-to-day life we can call them, these methods are test cases also. So test cases, this can be called as test suite. It is the regular testing terminology. So in our MS test we are going to call a class with an annotation called test class. The methods we can call it as a test method. So we can have n number of test methods inside a particular class. Whenever you are not mentioning any particular annotation, system will treat it is a regular method, not a testing method. So whenever there is an annotation test method, then only system will recognize this particular method is implemented for testing purpose. Okay, so let's start from the scratch instead of discussing all this. So I'm going to delete this file. So here I can right click and add new class. So I am taking a new class. Okay, so for example, let me take it as test class. Okay, so always it is just a best practice, whenever you are creating test classes you can make them public, because our compiler need to identify these particular testing classes, and after that, as I mentioned here, you are going to use it as test class. So initially it won't recognize, so because we have to import some data annotation here, the namespace here using Microsoft Visual Studio test tools unit testing. So when you create a unit testing project, it comes automatically, but whenever you want to customize a class from the scratch, you need to use this particular. Okay, so here suppose here I am going to implement a test case. So whatever the test case we need to write, always that is also should be in a public mode. So public return type will be always void. So here I want to test some functionality example. Okay, so here there is a predefined class, guys. The class name is assert. The class name is assert. Assert dot. So there are several methods available. If you are expecting true, so you can check is true. Okay, suppose let's start from is true. So here if I get the result true, then this test case will get pass. So before that, let's write test method. So this particular assert method will have a method called assert class will have this is true method. So it always expects a true. Whenever it is the result you are going to get it here is true, then your test case will get pass, otherwise it get fail. So initially you need to go to test option in this menu. So there is an option run all test cases. If you click this, so our project will get built. So then our compiler will understand what are the test methods. Then you can see a test explorer option here. Now you can see it is getting executed. So if you open this is the project name, this is the class name, this is the method name, and you can see the result, it was passed because it is in a green color. Suppose you got the result as false from some function. Again, so go to this test explorer. Here the first option run all test. If you click, all test methods will get run. Now you can see it become in red color because the test case was failed, because the actual expected value is true but you got false from the original code. So in case if you want to implement a proper methodology, so let me add a new project. So here let me take a class library where it contains code, guys. So class library, make sure it need to have .NET framework in bracket. So suppose arithmetic operations. So instead of taking a hard coded values here, let's make it implement a proper functionality. So here in this particular project, it comes a default class 1. I don't want to use that. Let's delete that one. So first add a new class here. Arithmetic is the class. So as I mentioned, always, so this particular project need to be accessible to this particular unit test project. That means I am trying to access my class from one particular project to another project. That is the reason I am keeping it in a public mode. So otherwise it won't get accessible. So public int sum of int x comma int y return x plus y. This is sum method, and this is subtract method. Minus will be there, and multiplication and some division. Okay, So we have a particular code is there. Now I just want to test this in real time. So before that, so I want to access this class into this unit test project. So that is the reason, right click and go to add and select reference. So then here you click on the solution. So then select the arithmetic operations project into the current one. Now you got the DLL here, so that the code will get accessible here also now. So here, so in case if I want to implement a simple functionality, so here I can write is true will be used for boolean values, like the same is false also there, guys. So that is also you can use as per the requirement. Normally in real time you won't use this is true or is false or anything. There is a standard method called assert dot r equal. You can see either you can use r equal, either you can use r same or not same. So by the word you can easily understand, but this is the standard method which we can use it in the real time. So always this you need to pass two values. What is the value you are expecting for this particular? Being a developer, you know that if you pass these two values, this is the result I can expect, correct? So that is what expected. The second one is what is the actual value. So before that, let me take some default values here. So public int I is equal to 10 comma j is equal to 25. I am taking some default static values to test. Okay, so this is optional, you can directly pass here also, but I don't want to use that. So and before that, so I want to test this sum method. I want to test this sum method which is in arithmetic class. So first I need to create an object for arithmetic class. So arithmetic AR some object name equal to new arithmetic. So arithmetic class cannot access directly because it is inside the namespace arithmetic operations. So that either you can write using arithmetic operations, or else if you take mouse on this particular arithmetic, it is also going to suggest use arithmetic operations. Then this particular arithmetic class is recognized. Okay, so now in the actual value, so I am expecting 10 plus 25 is 35 is my expected value. So let's test what that particular method is returning. So sum of I comma j. So now this particular method will check this, the result of this method will be equal to with this or not. So if these two are equal, then this particular test case will get pass, otherwise the test case will fail. So now again go to test, run all test methods. So now go to test explorer, this is being executing. So now you got this green color, that means test case was passed. Even you will get here also result test passed. Okay, so this is option in this particular MS test. That's it. Every method you will write the same code, whether assets are equal or not, or asset is giving true or not, or asset is giving false or not. According to the requirement we are going to use this. So this is particular test class annotation, this is particular test method annotation. So I think here ignore method also there. So for ignore, I think we can write message also. Skipped by developer. Some example, anything you can write. So again go back to test explorer, run all test methods. Now let's see what is the result it is going to give. So now you can see you got the message skipped by developer. That means whenever you want to ignore a particular method while executing, so you can simply add this ignore annotation, but you have to pass this comment so that the another developer who are in the project, who are working, they can understand why you skipped. This is a comment, okay? So you can write anything why you are skipping that. Maybe it is an incomplete method, or it need to modify in future. That thing you can mention particular ignore annotation. So this is about MS test, guys. So MS test, which comes by default inbuilt in our Visual Studio. So we have same kind of third party framework is there, that is what called NUnit. So there will be actually two frameworks will be there. NUnit for .NET framework. XUnit is there for .NET Core, which we are going to learn in future. Okay, so now we are going to discuss about NUnit framework. So first let me create one more, let me delete this. So MS Test is not our content, so we need to focus upon, sorry, MS Test is not in our curriculum. We have to discuss about NUnit. So right click and go to add, select a new project, again select unit test itself. So NUnit demo example. So by default they are going to give one unit test class. I don't want to use that. Let's delete this one and add the reference, because I just want to test my arithmetic operations project. So add, go to references, so then select arithmetic operations into the current project also. So now first let's add a class first. Arithmetic test class. So this is the test class I am going to create for arithmetic operations. So before writing anything, you have to import NUnit into the current project. So right click and go to add, go to manage NuGet packages, so that for the current solution you can install or manage the NuGet packages. Here you can search for NUnit. So then you can install two things, guys. First of all, you have to install NUnit must. You can install it. After that, you need to install this test adapter also, so that it will analyze the project and understand where the test cases are. So you have to install these two things. One is NUnit and NUnit test adapter, both. So I hope this is also installed. No, yeah, it is installed. Now let's write the first annotation. So in previous MS Test there is an annotation called test class, right? So here we are going to use an annotation test fixture. So it will ask you to import NUnit.framework. So this is the annotation where you have to use it for the class. However, in MS Test we have test class. So here we have test fixture. So here you can write a method public void test sum. So here also let's take some default values. So public int I is equal to 10, j is equal to some 25. So here first, as it is, you have to create object for this arithmetic. So arithmetic, some object name is equal to new arithmetic. So you can use this. Now as it is, assert dot r equal. So here you can pass 35, and here you can write ar dot the sum of I comma j. That's it. Code wise there is no change at all, guys. Okay, so here you can write one thing using assert equal to NUnit dot framework dot assert. So that means if you are not writing this, it is going to pick assert from our MS Test, but actually we have to import, we have to work with NUnit, right? That is the reason I am just mentioning wherever I use this assert class, don't take from MS Test, so take from NUnit project. Okay, so however we wrote test case on top of every test case method. So here we are going to write it as test. That's it. Test means it is a test case. Okay, so that's it. Just run the project again. So go to test, run all test methods. So go to this test explorer. Now you can see it was test passed. I think it is showing another one. The previous project output it is showing. So now you can see, so this particular test method was passed. Clear? So this is how you can create test methods here. So one more thing guys, here you can implement the code in another way. So where you can pass multiple values and you can check them whether they are working or not also. I mean you can pass some default values and check whether they are working or not. So let's implement one more code, public void test subtract method. Okay, so here what you will do, instead of taking this default values, single value only, let test for multiple values. So at that time let's take int a and int b. So here int some expected value. Okay, so here what you will do, you will create object as it is, arithmetic AR. Okay, so here assert dot r equal, so expected value I am taking from the variable. So here I am calling the subtract of a comma b. So here if you observe, in the earlier one I passed values from this I and j, but here I am taking parameters instead of these fixed values. So at such case you can keep this test as it is. After that you can write as test case, where you can pass these arguments. Suppose 10 comma 5, then what is the expected result is 5. So this 10 will be passed into this variable a, 5 will be passed into this variable b, and the expected result is 5 for me. So like that I can pass multiple values. I can check whether they are passing the test cases or not. So next time I am giving 100 comma 2, but actual value I am giving it wrong value just for testing. So this test case will get passed, this test case will get fail as per our assumptions. Again go to test cases and click on run all test methods. So as of now test sum will have only one. So test subtract, if you see this, when you pass 10 and 5, expected value is 5, so that it was passed. If you see this, actual value 10 comma 2 is 98, but you are expecting 980, so that the test case was failed. Like that, what I mean to say, here you can use multiple values while you test a test case also, instead of going with a single one or hard coded one like this. So test case will take parameters, will pass arguments like this, and you can test for several values. So this is another way where you can implement this particular test case implementations. And one more thing here I just want to add. So in case if you want to ignore any test case, so public void test multiplication example. So I don't want to here it is a test case only, but I don't want to implement or execute this particular. At that case you can use this ignore method. So ignore method, here you have two inputs to be passed. First one, what is the reason to skip? So not implemented yet, and till what time you can ignore it. So that also you need to write, I hope. Otherwise you can execute it like that also. So again go to test explorer, run all test, or else here also you can click this button, anything is fine. So you can see, so the message is not implemented. That is the reason you can ignore a particular test case method. Next, here public void test division. So here I am going to test division method this time. So let's mention test itself. So guys, here there are two methods are available. So let me write them. Suppose we have public void check non-negative. Okay, so here if you mention it as setup, so this particular method will get executed every time before executing of a test case. Once again I am repeating, if you write on top of any method as setup, then that particular method is going to execute before executing of every method. Suppose here I am making it as boolean example. Yeah, so let me take some example. Public result, the type is bool and the variable name is result. So if I greater than 0 and j greater than 0, if I greater than 0 and j greater than 0, then I am going to store my result as true. That means I am mentioning both are non-negative. If not, else, so I am making result as false. Let's make void itself. So now I just want to check this non-negative before executing every method. Okay, so you can see this. If result, that means if result is true, execute this one, or else you can directly write else assert dot fail. That means it was failed, the result is going to get failed, the test case won't pass. So here you need to understand one particular point. Whenever you want to execute any functionality, before executing the test case, you can add an annotation called setup. Now let's keep a breakpoint and show you. So let's not go for a division this time. So anyway, we are ignoring multiplication, just target on this what we can call sum method. So even this is also I can make it comment. Let's target on sum method, so that you can understand whether this is executing before executing this or not. So not only for sum, for every method before executing that, it is going to execute this code. Again go to test explorer, run all test methods, go to this test explorers. You can see now only sum method will get executed. Oh sorry, we need to check this breakpoint. So I think it is executing, just 1 minute. Here you can see debug all tests, then debug will happen, so that you can see whether it is executing or not. You can see debug point comes to this check non-negative even though there is no test. So now you can see I am executing this so that the result will become true. So now after that you can see it came to test method. That means whenever you are using this setup annotation, that will get executed before the test case, for every test case, not only one. So it was passed. Clear? So this is how you can execute some code before executing every test case. So then you can use this annotation called setup. So like the same, in case if you want to execute a particular code after executing every test case, setup default values. So I just want to execute this method after executing every test case. Again, so for that you are going to use an annotation called tear down. Here I am going to make result every time false after executing every method. So setup will execute before test case, tear down will execute after test case. In between, every test case will get executed. Again, let's go to debug all test. Now first it is going to execute setup method, after that test case, after that tear down method. You can see now we are in setup method, after that we are into this test case, after that you can see we are going into tear down method. So tear down method and setup method will executable before and after of every test case, not only one. Okay, so this is how the NUnit will be implemented. So we are going to use this in our real-time project, guys. So I hope this is clear to everyone. Now let me go to this mock framework. So mock means this word we are well known about this one. So generally mock means we are going to use a statement that we are going to implement mock drill. Mock drill means before executing the original one, or we are going to run a trial run. So that is what we are going to use this. So that is what mock framework. Okay. So I am going to repeat once again, guys. Mock framework will be used whenever you want to bypass result of a particular code, when the code was not implemented 100%. Okay, so at that time you can use this particular mock framework to bypass the result of a particular code, not in test, in code. So now let me show you a quick example so that you can easily understand. It is very small one. Okay, suppose here we have public bool check digits only. Some code is there, you can call whatever it is. So we have to implement actually in arithmetic, so we are not able to implement. That is the reason by default always it is going to return false, but I just want to show it to the user as test case is passed. So here public void check values. So here I am going to use test as it is. Here I am going to create object for arithmetic. So AR dot, so here assert dot R equal. So what I am expecting is true, because as a tester I will expect that code was implemented and that should return always true itself. Okay, so if I write AR dot check digits only, so then it will return false, but we are expecting true, so that this test case will be always fail only till the time I write proper code there. Now let me show you this. In the test case, the check values, you can see it become error, that means test case was failed because expected is true but it was false actually. So at such case, to the users, in case if you want to bypass values of this particular method, okay, so we are going to use this particular mock framework. So first you can right click on the test project, go to manage NuGet packages, in the browse option search for MOQ. So this is mock framework, guys, so you can install it. It's installing, just give 2 minutes for that. is asking for confirmation. Click on OK. That's it, it was installed. And whenever you want to mock any particular project, you have to import using MOQ. So now I just want to bypass the result of an unimplemented method, right? So you can go to mock of, you can pass the class name that which you want to make it mock method. So you can use that mock of arithmetic. You can take some object name, mock is equal to new. So because the method which I want to make it bypass, that is check digits only, it is under the class arithmetic. That is the reason I am passing this class inside this particular mock annotation. After that you can write this code mock dot, you can see the first method, only method you will use is setup. So setup, you can use some for each method where we already used in collections. So check digits only. So this is the method which I want to bypass. So dot returns, return always what value you want to bypass. So always it need to return true only. So this is how you can bypass a particular code. So here you no need to use this arithmetic and all those object and all those, because we are passing this class to the mock project. So here you can write like this, mock object name of that mock template dot, so object. So mock dot object means that is nothing but arithmetic only. So there you can call the method check digits only. So actual code from these check digits always will return false, but we are writing a code to always bypass that result and return it as a true only. So this is how you can bypass any particular code by using mock framework. So let's go once again. So go to test, run all test methods. Now these check values will become positive, I mean the test case will get passed. So here you are getting an error, guys, because it is trying to override the code of this particular check digits only, right? So that is the reason always which you want to bypass a method from mock framework, so you have to make it as virtual. You are giving permission to override that particular code and return a fixed value always. So now it will execute. You can see this, run all test methods. So go to this test. Now it will become pass. You can see this. Okay. So what I mean to say finally, you can bypass the result of any unimplemented code by using the mock framework, by using this setup method. So you can return a fixed value every time whenever you are calling from test project. So only complication is you have to keep always virtual method, otherwise you cannot bypass the values here. So this is how you can implement mock project. So this I'm going to conclude this, guys. Unit testing will be done by developer always to test whether whether his or her code is going to reach the expectation of the client or not. Okay, mock will be used always to bypass the result of a particular functionality, but always that functionality need to be in virtual mode, otherwise we cannot override it. So I hope this particular unit testing, MS test, NUnit and mock framework, all these four topics are clear to everybody. If you have any concerns, please reach me out. Thank you so much.